Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Spider-Man 2.
Gotta get to
We don't
Dr.
see...
Connors. Hopefully Harry didn't hurt him.
Hold on, I gotta turn up the TV. That should be better. Anyway, if I don't sound as enthused as I normally am, it's because the things that I tried to do didn't work out. I hosted a Twitter... or I posted a poll on my Facebook and Twitter to, try and get people involved, enthused about, the game going forward, in terms of how I handle Spider-Man. He's, gameplay-wise, do I just wear other costumes, or do I, blah, 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 just stick in the anti-venom. And, 2 people voted. And it was a tie. So I'm not totally enthused there.
How about a timeout?
Plus, when I tried to post the same thing I put on the Faces onto the Twitters, Twitter decided to be an asshole and wouldn't let me post it. So I was forced to do many of the spammy accounts to say, oh, this is hard. And now I feel I feel very filthy. I feel oh no, it's Twitter being stupid. But
How many hunters are left in this city? Too many.
Gooey! Yay! I'm just mildly annoyed with Twitter anyway, because they, I don't know, they banned my friend, not a super close friend, or an acquaintance of mine's, secondary Twitter, because he was telling someone, hey, you shouldn't bully anyone, and then they banned him, and because Elon Musk doesn't actually employ people to actually go over bans, he lost his account and is now completely unenthused to resume his fan account, which sucks, So, I don't know, I feel I know I shouldn't say this, but Elon Musk
make some noise.
People I would pin slack if I actually meant okay. Because I feel there's
Gotta save these people.
they need that. They need to have a physical reminder that you are not better, and yes, your opinions can't. A lot of rich people fall into that category. But anyway, so we're kind of on the first thing I said. I wanted to see if people were interested in deciding oh, do you want to do this Shadows, or do you want to and nobody voted. So not happy. But at the very least I have symbiote powers back as anti-venom. And I'm gonna relish that because not only... I'm not gonna lie, when they first announced anti-venom, I absolutely loved the idea. It's it's, the Venom suit, but none of the weaknesses. That is primo shit, Not only none of the weaknesses, you're not at risk of losing. It's not say it's more succinct, but really it's awesome that basically we can have an iteration of Venom where you're not like at risk of becoming like a bad guy, you know? Also,
Yes.
the anti-venom powers make these nests
Thanks, Spider-Man.
so much
Trying to move
easier.
the gallery pieces when they attacked. That artwork may be valuable, but not as valuable as your lives. Stay safe.
Also, sorry if I seem kind of not playing Spider-Man as much. Right now, I'm just trying to get through. I don't want to say get through to the end of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm trying to finish it because Stellar Blade comes out soon, and
Another nest. Last one was rough. Where'd it go? Ugh. As if these things weren't creepy enough already.
that's annoying. Trying to not buy new, you know. Kind of going from there since I now more or less basically have issue with that's no issue with my anti-venom powers. That I saw a thingy from What Culture that was like, oh, you know, developers are
It moved again! It's on the move again!
oh, or it's already tapped. Cool. That suggests that the gold rush of Game Pass is coming to an end. That was the terminology they used, but basically that the benefits of developers like trying to like agree to like partnership with Game Pass to get more stuff on the Game Pass.
Only a few more seconds!
It's no longer as viable as it was at like the beginning. You know, we're no longer at this like new frontier. You know, we're kind of just at the, you know, it's Game Pass. You know, do you really is the cost of like basically, you know, removing a section of the actual sales, or the actual digital sales of the games that were worth it, just to try to increase the game, you know? And some games...
Fine.
Okay, it worked.
Thanks. That was... Thank you.
You're safe now. Take a breather, and when you're ready, get inside.
Look, that's a soccer player. She does not look like a soccer player because she's in, like, winter clothing, which is not really the best, but, like, way to say that, I know, but I found it kind of funny. Anyway.
In the midst of the most unprecedented time in modern history, a hero rises to change his costume? What award show is Spider-Man hosting that he feels the need to change his outfit so frequently instead of providing any kind of meaningful assistance to the authorities? I don't know what his game is, but he seems to be more preoccupied with his wardrobe.
I did not choose anti-venom life, right?
No match for us.
Mr. Negative chose the anti-venom life. But no, so
I'll take it from here.
that is how I kind of understood it. There's only, the unfortunate truth is there's only so much I can take of What Culture. I don't find them as biased as I used to, but I do also think that they have a tendency to kind of just, they enjoy the sound of it, you know, but these are also excerpts from the podcast, and that's basically what a good chunk of podcasts are, in my opinion. That's why I don't listen to Really, any of them. If there's something important I need to listen to, I will look it up, or if it's something I actually want to watch.
I'm not.
I don't want to, like, spend 3 hours listening to a podcast just for one thing, you know? Which is why I like that so many, like, put, their stuff on, Facebook, or, like, clips, you know? Because at the very least, I can just kind of, if I don't want to watch the whole thing, I can just kind of zoom through the stuff that I'm interested in. And it's the same thing with audiobooks. I can't really listen to audiobooks the same way I can't really listen to podcasts, because at some point it just kind of, it essentially becomes background noise, and then I may miss what I'm actually trying to pay attention to.
Better check out that nest. Get ready for some.
Look, I know how my brain works.
This is gonna get loud.
But ultimately, what they were implying is that there's, like, we're past the period where Game Pass is, like, viable for, like, smaller developers, and, like, you know, put your stuff on Game Pass, you know, it'll help grow your audience, blah, 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 stuff like that. And that's what they're kind of saying is, like, the issue with Microsoft. That is not the issue with Microsoft. Well, I could definitely see where you're coming from, saying that Microsoft has a much bigger issue, and they've had this issue for a while now, and it's not going to get better until somebody, again, comes up to him, or comes up to Phil Spencer and says, your ideas are stupid, they can't be stupid, and I'm going to come in and tell you, no, this is not a good idea. But it's this idea that oh, hey, come on, Bridge. It's essentially this idea that the future of gaming is subscription services, you know, and, you know, all digital subscription services, you don't really own your games, and that's not true. Like, I know a lot of people say, like, oh, nobody owns their movies, or nobody owns their music. People still do buy music, people still do buy movies, you know, still buy TV shows. It happens. It's not as uncommon as you think. And even with Best Buy getting rid of all the stuff, but what it ultimately comes down to more than anything is...
Thanks, Spidey. You got it. Find an indoor gym till it's safe out here.
That's actually a really smart idea. Oh, there must have been your soccer field. That's why I was a soccer player. I don't think I'd say I was a basketball player. I'm not 100% sure. It's essentially a situation where it doesn't matter what method you're using to, like, bring these games to people. The ultimate problem is that with a Netflix-style subscription model for anything, you ultimately, it doesn't matter what new stuff you bring, you're always going to run the risk of defaulting with anything to something you already know that you enjoy. And I'm not just talking new purchases, I literally mean, like, why buy or why play this new game that you've never heard of, that you know nothing about, when you could just play,
I better check it out.
I don't know, Skyrim again.
Hello?
I'm pretty sure it's why it has
Anyone here?
staying power.
This is Black Cat's old hideout.
Good thing she's not here. You play Skyrim again, or like Spider-Man again, you know? So it ultimately, the very core of the idea
Man, these things are tough!
with Game Pass is that you're going to, basically you're going to one and done game. And for a lot of people, that is what happens. there are plenty of games where I only played it once. You know, I got what I wanted out of it, and I thought I was going to come back to it, and I ended up coming back to it, or not in the way I wanted to. But, you know, and instead I just kind of moved on to the game. And there's nothing wrong with it. Shit, I died. I got distracted and I died. But it does ultimately mean that there is a flaw with Game Pass model. Because if people are just playing what they know, what they enjoy, instead of trying to experiment or trying new stuff, then there's no point in that stuff, which I feel like is why Phil Spencer is trying to like buy out as much as possible to get everything onto Game Pass. I'm pretty sure, and this is just my theory, I'm pretty sure his plan is because he knows that stuff will eventually cycle, and it does cycle on Game Pass. But I'm pretty sure his plan is, and I could be wrong, his plan is more or less basically turn the video games industry into a Microsoft entity with the intent of have no other means of playing the games outside of Game Pass. And once that's happened, you won't be able to go back and play the games. You're basically going to play what you tell them. That's... Some of my family members are a bit conspiracy theories. Like, not dangerous levels, but just... I definitely inherited tendency to overthink certain things and draw the worst possible conclusions. Very little dots connecting, but it doesn't change the fact that one of the biggest flaws you have with streaming services is that after a while stuff's going to leave, and it's something that you know you're comfortable with, that you would come back to. If it goes, then it's probably going to make you not want to come over to Game Pass, or to stay with Game Pass, you know? It draws into question the actual value of the subscription service when it's not being used the way that it's like, intended to be used, I guess is the best way of phrasing it. And... Ooh, fun. That's not the reason why I left Game Pass. It was actually because I needed to... I didn't have the time that I had before to just endlessly play video games because I got a dog and, you know, was trying to get healthier. So... ultimately, my time was divided, meaning I was only going to wasn't really going to be as experimental as I could be. It meant more I was just going to go to the stuff that I wanted to play. And that ultimately meant that I couldn't just go through Game Pass and be like, oh, do I want to try this out? Do I not want to try this out? I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. I was wasting money. And I feel like eventually that's what's going to happen. I feel like people are eventually going to wise up, realize they're wasting money, and then they're going to cancel their Game Pass subscription.
Those things freak me out. Sonic Burst's ready.
It's not unfair to say that Phil Spencer wants to consolidate as much focus and power into Game Pass as possible to make sure that the only way to play like certain games is to be a member of Game Pass, or to, you know, make it as easy as possible to play games in Game Pass. Again, it sounds very conspiracy. No, I very much like Xbox. It's the system I had growing up. I want to see them do better. And the only way that they're going to do better is if they stop with this main focus on, you know, Game Pass and instead focus on what you actually need for a video game company to be successful, and that's exclusives. I mean, look at Nintendo and look at Sony. Say what you will about the longevity of any of their games, people come on these systems because they know that they're going to get something good. They're going to get a solid game you can, for the most part, only get on the system. And that's how it's always been, and I feel like unless we actually start getting nerfed or like Super Online or any of that like dive PR crap, I feel like that's how it's always going to be. You know? There are always going to be people who don't just want to play on consoles or handhelds because it's easier than playing on PC. And in order to really make that worthwhile, besides the ease of access, you need exclusives. You know? I don't know why Phil Spencer wants to fight against that logic. It's not bad logic. It's actually the logic that has stuck with this industry for a long time. Good logic. It sounds good.
Finally. Thanks, Spider-Man.
And
Whoa, that was messed up. Are you a doctor?
No, an EMT.
Spider-Man was hitting you pretty hard.
Hey, if that's what he had to do to get it off me, I'm grateful.
yeah, I'll admit that was pretty hard. I'm sorry, man. Pretty sure you were the Golgotha. I don't know. The big one, the bulky boy. It's just what you need in order for a console to remain relevant and to sell. It's why the Wii U struggled so hard. Well, actually, no, that's not true. In terms of the Wii U, it was just an overly idiotic system that ultimately could not compete with its competitors in any meaningful way, and it had exclusives. That's actually not as relevant, but still, that's a special case. The rare misfire from Nintendo. They don't happen that much anymore. They still happen, but you're more likely to see someone else fuck up. Well, that was smart. Although it probably would have been smarter to put it towards gadgets and gizmos and stuffs too.
I'm ready. Man, these things are tough!
So, and I saw like a post from someone saying like, oh, you know, so, you know, what culture bias, you know, biased towards Xbox, and I don't know why Xbox fans are so quick to try and like games to try to remember. But I don't understand why, because if it wasn't for the fact that at the very least the Vita had its benefits, especially with remote play, I feel like when there's actually like an actual benefit to the thing, it's a lot easier to defend. And, you know, I definitely feel like, yeah, some people didn't really want to put some effort into, for like the investment into the Vita because of a lot of stuff it had. But I also feel like the Vita had enough benefits, like good things about it, that if you had a Vita, it was a lot hard to say, oh, you're an idiot, you know, And don't get me wrong, some people would, because some people are just asking, oh, you need to activate that, I suppose.
We did it.
Did deactivate? It did deactivate. Cool. Anyway, that Phil Spencer wants it to be, and I've talked about this before. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that because I'm not gonna reiterate the same crap over and over and over and over and over and over and over. But you know, cloud streaming and remote play are definitely weak. I feel like, yes, if Xbox released a handheld system, that'd be a first, and it would also definitely, I feel like, make Game Pass a little better, because, you know, then at the very least, now you've got a device where you can download and play your games from Game Pass.
Last one was rough.
And
Let's clean this place up.
it kind of validates it more if you're able to play it in more places. But for the time being, Microsoft doesn't really have it, and that's kind of why
Keep them away from
I
the
don't
heart.
have a PlayStation Portal, but I can definitely defend the Portal a little more. Yeah, it's just a game. It's essentially the Wii U gamepad, but people are finding ways to actually use it outside of their home environment. People are actually finding ways to make it. I think someone, and I don't know why they did this, somebody actually like figured out how to put bonds on it and then emailed PlayStation like, hey, I figured this thing out, and I don't think it's supposed to be like this, you know, here, we're telling you how to fix it. Which, not many hackers do that, or, you know, modders do that. But you know what? They seem to have it. Good on them. But at the very least, and since with the Switch, it doesn't matter if you have a Switch or Switch Lite, you're getting a degree of console level, an older console, but a degree of console level on a portable system, which kind of is what every developer for a portable game system is trying to do. So, it's a situation where
It's almost fully synced.
no matter what critiques you can have about something, there's always benefits. But the benefits of Game Pass are kind of starting to run into. Because at the end of the day, if you're just wasting money and on the service, and you're not playing as many games, you're just kind of defaulting to games that you could just spend $5 on. Why are you spending $10, $15, $17, $18 a month on the service, you know? I think this is the stuff that Phil Spencer actually needs to think about, and unless he can just say, like, definitively, you know,
That's the last nest.
in the short
Time
term...
for the city to start healing.
Ooh, yay. I got the King in Black suit for Miles now. There it is. So it's a suit that looks like Null. And Carnage, Anti-Venom. Alright, we're gonna put him in the Anti-Venom version of the King in Black suit. Not what I wanted to do, game, and you know that. Motherfucker, you owe me! Alright, Alrighty. Well, we have a couple different options now. What is the one? I feel like it's the hunter base thingy. Like the game thinks I'm supposed to have that now. I don't know what the game wants me to unlock, or is trying to tell me I can unlock here, you know? Oh wait, hang on. Alright. You know what? Let's do some more side stuff, and then for the rest of this episode, I feel like eventually will
the spider coming to ruin your mind.
You see the monitor?
The other two blinds are down.
Because of the spider. He's hunting us.
I already let the base know. This is only any reinforcements.
Yes, perfect. Strength in numbers is such a lazy belief.
You can always do more with less.
And we will prove that.
So that's just kind of... And also,
Sleep tight.
the other day, and just kind of... And I swear to God, I'm going to stop talking about what culture in a second. They posted a thingy that said, like, oh, you know, there's a report that people are playing games that are like 5 or 6 years old, you know, kind of implying, like, oh, reject modern games, play old games. And I feel like there is a sentiment to that, but also the games that are at like the top of those
some shady
lists
stuff happening on this rooftop. And I bet there's more.
are all mainly multiplayer games that are still getting support. I feel like that's not a that's not fair, because if a developer's actually supporting a game, it's like a continuously supported game, then it's definitely something. Like, we're not going to say, oh, you know, people are rejecting older or new games for older games because everyone's still playing World of Warcraft. You know, that's not at all true. I feel like the problem is that a lot of developers are overly focusing on monetization stuff that made those games successful, and not really the fun aspects of what made those games successful. So,
The abandoned school. It passed the cool base location test.
cool location-based test. So that's kind
Better
of...
get to the base quick. Mr. Parker's got a lesson to teach.
Oh. It would have been... He was a teacher for a while in the comics. I really wish that he got to be a teacher. You know? Like, for longer than 5 minutes.
Ready for your first day at Hunter High?
Don't worry. I'll teach them a lesson they won't soon forget.
Are you
Oh.
workshopping that, or...?
Hey, you signed up for this. What's the deal with this base?
Looks like the info we pulled from the blinds was right. They're upgrading all their vehicle weaponry here.
Time to put a stop to it.
So definitely, I think when, like, a freemium free or even, like, a multiplayer game like that is done right, then I feel like, yes, it can have the potential to last a long time, because there have been games that were still around from, like, a decade ago.
There we go.
It is not all, you know, I don't know. I feel like the article was actually kind of stupid, and that ultimately they didn't really address the actual thing that made these games still so popular. They just kind of like, oh, these games are from, you know, like this age, you know, or like this period of time. So clearly people are rejecting newer games for these older games. And that's, I'm sure a lot of people will come back to these games more than like single player games, but still, it's just, I don't know. I feel like the video was, and I didn't watch all of it because, again, I can only take so much What Culture podcast a day. But I feel like they did at least try to address, like, you know, this is mainly in, like, multiplayer games that have figured out, or, like, live service games that have figured out, you know, how to be successful in, like, the regard of a continuously supported game, you know? Whereas a lot of the other games, like, they are failing in that regard, so... Or they're just games that no one's really putting out anything that... from that series that's actually good anymore, so why play the schlop when you can play, you know, what was good? Like, I don't know why anyone is playing Modern Warfare 3, the crappy version, when you can play one of the... I'm not the biggest Call of Duty fan. I recognize that there are good Call of Duty games. Oh, you know what? I can switch a ability thingy here. Suit tech, do 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 do. Suit tech, do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Find the server panel and take out those turrets. 2 more turrets left.
And here comes the peanut gallery.
I will pass this myself.
That guy. I'm sorry, there is no way any.
One more turret to go.
Reinforcements! Not enough of you here already? Opening fire.
Hell yeah! We fried those turrets to dust. Gotta upgrade that, fools.
The spider! He's here!
This should be their communications relay.
No more reinforcements. Hunters are about to feel like their friends are ghosting them. Let's see what else we can dig up on the incoming Kravenovs.
There we are. Hello?
This will be good for you, Ladrochi. Father, please. End this now. The others won't speak to me. Can you just come home? There's still time for us to be family again. I will not die like any other men. What? I don't feel safe here anymore. I don't trust the others. They frighten me. Then cower and hide. If you can endure the shame. You won't let them hurt me. Will you? Father? That is up to you.
Well, that was just sad. Feels ripe for a therapy session.
No thanks, I'm all booked up. I feel for him, but he's still Kraven's kid. Dangerous. Gotta clear out the last base so we're ready for this family shindig. Symbiotes are trying to get at those people! Stay inside, everyone! I won't let anything happen to you!
There were way more than I thought they were gonna be. I was like, oh, hey, cool, there's like 3. I can handle that. That was 10, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Where'd those symbiotes come from?
Apparently, there's now 10 more.
Whoa, symbiotes dropping in. move! There's an ambulance nearby. I can take you to it.
Thank you. Well, I'm not too heavy.
Here you go. And now you're in much better hands.
You
Yay!
really are a
Amber
hero.
lamps.
Thank you.
I don't know what suit I can afford, but I'm just gonna move on with my life and say... Bully! Who knows, maybe it's the Kravenov suit. Ew, crud. Alright, where's the last Kraven the Hunter thingy? Okay, now I can fast travel. Brooklyn, how you doing?
Hey! Need a dance partner? I've been waiting! Come on, guys! This isn't helping anybody! I'll get you the
Beating up guys.
Nice! I was wondering if this could get any harder.
Now Miles and I match.
Man, I thought I was gonna get that last hit in.
Ah, hubris. It defeats us all.
Bring it in. He vanished. Goodbye, terrible person.
Take 5.
At the candy bar. Chicken.
Nighty night. Always wanted to
fight in an invisible blanket fort?
Screw it. What's on a wall?
Did you not realize that makes some
Reinforcements.
I love how to just regular enemies it's like a concussion. There we go.
Time to play the what can I find here game. They fit a surprising amount of tech in this little guy.
Like iPhones.
This must be the base. That's where the little birds go to recharge. Bet I could overcharge them right out of existence. I see you've been to another blind too. That last blind may have the base location.
Hey, now I can fast travel here. You know what that means? I'm awesome! Oh my god. It's a dimensional time-space Quintana number.
Wow, are you
Penny
cute?
Parker.
Are those heart eyes?
Anime! Annie Mae Fletcher.
To me! It's hunt him down!
Screw it.
Not quite enough, Spider-Man. Need a better position!
Get over here, chicken. Can't stop Venom. Can't even try. So just go ahead and...
More of you?
All you'll
Who
be
hit
able
the
to do with your
reinforcements
eyes.
button?
Bring him down!
Yay!
Now to get the final scoop on the base. Speaking of scooping...
I didn't know they could do that.
So that's where they are. I'd have thought they would have torn down that old army supply base by now.
Oh, it's an old army supply base. Well, much like a bird, I must fly there.
Hunters have taken over this abandoned army supply base and turned it into a drone station.
Are there bird drones? Why didn't they just pick an aviary?
Does it matter? They're making these drones to kill you.
Good point. Let's stop that from happening.
Be sure to hook the charging station up to a power supply to destroy the drones. Let's ground some birds.
Relax. It's a Sony. Goodbye, robot chicken.
Powering up the drones here. If you can tether your web from the charging station to a power supply, you'll overcharge them into oblivion.
I was wondering why Genki was so quiet, but I think it was just the game being stupid for like 45 seconds.
Hey.
Nice to sleep you.
Don't you all have something better to do?
And I
Get him out of that!
Spike on the ground.
Think you can dig up some more info on the incoming Kravinoffs now?
Okay, so because the base is empty, now I basically don't have to do shit. Well, that's disappointing.
Here we go. What's this?
Little Anna.
You seek a challenge to feel the rush of fear again. I will give you something to fear, Father.
Your brother made such promises. Go on then. Terrify me.
Anyone who gets in my way will suffer the same fate as Nedorochi.
Is that so? And your mother?
She was in the way.
I assume Vladimir was no problem for you either.
I live for the hunt.
If you really are the one, let us see if you can leave Volgograd unscathed.
Oh my god. His entire family. All dead.
This whole time we were getting ready for them, and they just destroy each other? And Kraven got what he wanted. At least his hunters have nowhere to hide now.
The hunters are gone and the drones are grounded. Pretty good at this.
Alright, I give up. I have no idea what the frickin' game wants me to unlock. Getting the remix upgrade, and then I'm gonna...
Stay away from them!
Ooh. Damn it! Tried to do perfect dodges and I died. Instead of perfectly dodging anything. Alright. Therein lies the ultimate question. Do I want to wrap it up now that I've completely discovered that the Kravinoff family destroyed itself due to Kraven's stupid ambition, or do I want to keep going?
That's perfect.
Ah, the Manhattan Bridge.
We're gonna do one story mission and then we're gonna wrap it up. Besides that, I've got the Anthem. 647 Ways to Die. The sequel to 646 Ways to Die. I feel like that's a parody of the ABCs of Death, which is an anthology series, and they made 2 films. Well, Oscorp's down there.
Norman, what are you doing?